For November the 11th, 2016, we talk about the Jackbox Party Pack 3, the BlizzCon announcements, and we ask you which game character would make the best president. I mean, just anybody else, please. Welcome to level 172. My name is Kole Ross.
I'm Jala Prendez.
I'm David Myersmith. I don't know what order we do anymore.
Ben Last. Ben Last is always order.
I'm Ben Last.
and you're listening to The Level. It's a podcast for people who love video games. I know sometimes we always say that episodes are going to be short. Just because of circumstances or whatever. But I've got to say, we are currently recording right in the middle of like all of the election stuff coming in. I've got the New York Times map open up and I'm watching the numbers go up and down. My head is elsewhere. I'm going to put that to the group and just, I hope that you guys understand.
Totally fine.
Yeah. But David, you're back.
I am.
Yeah.
I have returned.
Yes. You're still down in that cistern, which is, something we're just going to have to deal with, I guess.
Yeah. Lassie fucked up this time.
Yep. Strange thing about dogs. Very distractible by meats.
Also, she's following the election very carefully. So.
Yeah. Real junkie. Been following the snake on 538. Yeah, but you are again joining us from are you at your office or something like that?
Yeah, I'm basically at the conferencing room at the hacker house that I'm living at.
Okay, but
the room itself is basically just like a garage that they welded the garage door shut. So it has the acoustic properties of a garage that you welded the garage door shut.
Oh man, but yeah, it's good to have you here. Jala, Ben, you as well.
Yeah.
Yay!
It's been a while.
Yes. If somebody didn't do it, I was going to. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. You guys have anything going on here since the past week or so?
Yeah. I fought off zombies at an obstacle course race, and I really almost punched somebody because some of those zombies were a little bit too pushy. Like, they weren't supposed to be pushy, but they got pushy. And I have combat reflexes. You don't start pushing me. It's not a good idea for your health. So I pushed him back, but I stopped myself from decking him. So that's good anyway. I didn't get into like a big fight or get arrested or anything for punching out somebody who was being an ass. So hooray! I did not go to jail. Yay!
Why isn't that haunted house or strip club rules where there's no touching either way?
Yeah, I know, but it's supposed to be.
Okay.
It wasn't. It wasn't. So that's not the actuality of it, even though they did have people watching to make sure nothing happened. They didn't do anything. So yeah, that was whatever. That was an experience. It's over with.
Yeah.
I didn't have any negative repercussions, so that's good.
Guys, great idea. Haunted strip club.
Yep, that is a pretty good one, actually.
So,
go ahead.
Did I tell you about the strip club near where I'm at?
Is this going to be depressing?
No, it's actually just really, really weird. It's the strip club, like right next to the hacker school I went to, is known for the fact that in middle of San Francisco, where you can't get like a hot dog for less than $10, it has a $5 lunch buffet that is apparently amazing. You just have to be willing to deal with the awkwardness of like eating at the buffet in the middle of a strip club.
Yeah. You just have to you have to feel comfortable using communal tongs to pull egg rolls out of hot water in a strip club.
You got to really focus on that one sense that you have and deny all the others. But yeah.
Oh boy.
Huh. I went on a haunted boat this weekend.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Was that the one that's like a paddle wheel boat, or am I thinking of something else?
It's like a river boat that sank and they raised it up. It's the USS Nightmare. I didn't know it existed. Brian Wade was in town actually, and so I got to go hang out with him and some of his crew. It was very fun to meet them. And they mentioned in passing that there is something called the USS Nightmare, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Nobody in the group really wanted to go. So, well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to this haunted house on its last night on November 5th alone. and it was very good.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
How was it?
That was very good. I talk about it more in depth in an upcoming Abject Suffering, but
okay.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. But Jala, was the zombie race it? Oh, my dryer's done. Okay.
The dryer alarm?
No, I set a timer on my phone.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm very scattered. So you did the zombie race?
Yeah, after I ran 16.62 miles with my running group, and I turned around and right after that I ran to my car and then went and changed and then went to the zombie run. So. Woo!
Wow.
Yay! And then I went to Renaissance Festival where I became Queen of the Fairies. If you missed that photo, you haven't seen my social media recently. So
that's so many environments and so much running in such a short amount of time.
So many genres.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm a genre crossing fiend.
How long was the zombie run?
Oh, it was only 5K. Yeah. Whatever. It's fine.
Gotcha.
Nice.
5K at the end of 16.62. So I ran 20 miles. Yay. The end.
Nice. And how about you, Ben?
Nothing terribly new. I do got, I think, 5 games to talk about, but I'll try and keep it brief as we're trying to make this a quick episode. But yeah. Oh, wow. Sorry for my tardiness in the recent weeks, but yeah.
No, I understand. Don't worry about it.
I have been very good about making myself available for people to be on the show, even today.
Yeah.
So that's a thing.
Yeah, Dennis was going to be on, and then he wasn't. So yeah, for a very good
surprise.
Reason.
Yes.
Hey, Dennis, how's it going? Yeah. Look at me, I'm Dennis.
Is that how Dennis speaks?
Yes.
It's kind of like when Dennis was trying to impersonate me when I wasn't there one time. That's why he got stuck in a cistern for a while.
Oh, gosh. We have so many people in cisterns, we can't actually keep them straight.
I know.
Oh, gosh.
No, we can't.
So we should probably get on with the bulk of the show. We're going to do a super brief, and then that's going to be followed by a multiplayer and then a grind, which apparently Ben is going to dominate. So let's get right on to the brief, where we talk about things that are happening in the world of video games around us. We have 2 stories coming out of Blizzard here. David, you have the bigger one. So I'm going to have you lead with the club banger. What's going on with Overwatch?
Sure. So they just released a trailer announcing the new hero, who is Sombra, who is a hacker character. She's sort of like the spy from Team Fortress 2. She can turn invisible, and I believe also has a teleport ability. But her main ability is the ability to hack other players and disable the ability for them to use skills. And I guess can also hack health kits so enemies can't use them and things like that. Also, kind of entertainingly, I don't think it's entirely clear if this is all the time the way it works or if this is just in some of the highlight videos. But apparently her, I don't know, I guess for people who don't play, at the end of every match there's a play of the game where it basically displays a, someone who did something really, really cool during the match. and for her if she gets play of the game, basically, it starts to show someone else's play of the game, and then she like hacks in and like shows her instead.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it seems like a really cool addition. People are geeking out over it as they do. So
yeah. They have been for a while, because their strategy for rolling her out has been to run this whole big ARG.
Right, exactly.
Lots and lots of folks kind of like digging up clues, jumping at shadows, etc., which is neat. I'm not so much into the Overwatch character lore and stuff like that, but way to go, Blizzard! You capture people's hearts and imaginations.
Yep, yeah. As you do. My only hope is that the character is less annoying than the spy in Team Fortress 2. So we shall see.
How many classes are there now in Overwatch? Does anyone play that?
It's not classes, it's like characters. I think there are like 19 of them now, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the 19 to 20 range.
Yeah. And they're all fairly different. I mean, in terms of even just play, not just appearance.
Yeah. I mean, very different in terms of appearance. Very well, this is going to get into my what you've been playing, so I guess we will return.
Yeah. So let's throw over to the other Blizzard story. Ben, what's going on with Starcraft?
Yeah, so Blizzard's going to open up some Starcraft so that people who work on AI can have access to everything in the game, so that they can try and teach a computer how to play it. And so I guess they were spurred by the success of AlphaGo. They're specifically sharing it with people who work on DeepMind, so I believe that's Google. I don't know if they're releasing it to any third parties besides that or not. But yeah, so there might be a computer that can play StarCraft really well.
So, I actually was reading about this on one of the on Hacker News, and it was really interesting. People discussing something I didn't consider is that since a computer could theoretically do an infinite number of things at a time, and a lot of StarCraft runs into micromanaging actions per second. It could potentially do some really basically it could potentially win that way. So for example, it would be possible for it to play as the Terrans and simply have fine enough control to move a enemy their Marines into range whenever their attack cycle came up, and then immediately out of range.
Oh, wow.
So that would be impossible to hit them.
So one thing I'm curious about with it is I assume that it has to have the same abilities as a player, so it has to actually move. And that's
what they've actually said, is they're going to limit it to match things that would be physically possible for a player.
Okay, so it'll have to move the map around. And so, maybe one thing interesting too is the field of vision that it has, whether or not it'll be advantageous to someone else, so you can see certain parts of the map, so that you can get a vision for that and then store that in memory. Because I imagine that's something that players do, but that'll be interesting to see how a computer learns how to do that.
I wonder if they could use there's basically algorithms that do that for self-driving cars. That keep track of what is probably in the blind spots. I wonder if you could adapt that.
I don't know. I have next to no interest in watching StarCraft matches. However, I would be very curious to see highlight reels or something of competitions between two kind of divergent AIs. As people are developing these and testing them, don't just test them against humans, test them against each other to determine which one's the best. I want to see robots fighting each other
it'll be
StarCraft.
like battle bots.
Yeah. God, how long has it been since I thought about battle bots?
I do think it would be cool if instead of if people made their own AIs and then there's an AI tournament where people are fighting with AIs against one another. That would be cool.
Huh.
But
I know they've done some things like that with, like, for example, like Prisoner's Dilemma and stuff like that.
Like trying to design AIs that will run Prisoner Dilemma experiments.
So, well, basically, do it so like each robot or whatever, is matched up with another, tournament style, and they do say like 10 rounds of Prisoner's Dilemma, and the one with the lowest cumulative number of years in jail wins.
Okay.
Always take the money.
Yep.
Apparently, the basic strategy is you have to never like most of them that win basically will work together if the other one works together, and will eventually forgive the other one if it betrays them, but will not be naive and keep working together if the other one keeps betraying them. So
weird.
I don't know.
Huh. Well, I mean, both of these really cool things, and they both came out of BlizzCon, right? Like, that's going on right now.
Yeah. Also worth seeing is looking up some of the cosplay from BlizzCon is always worth it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm positive after Overwatch, some of it's going to be fucking nuts. Yeah. Anything else about this stuff, or is that a brief?
That's a brief.
All right.
Multiplayer.
Now it is time for the multiplayer, where we ask you a question and you answer it. And if you thought you were escaping from election and political stuff, you are wrong. Because this week's question, oh boy, I can't see who put it up because Facebook changed their shit. Dennis put it up, so I will be the surrogate for Dennis here.
He put it up and then ran.
Yep. What video game character would make for the most interesting candidate in an election? Let's say U.S., maybe. There's no reason to say that anywhere. And what would be the key elements of their platform? I'm going to open up here with Chase, who says, Gwyn. He doesn't have a strong base and policy, but he will keep the lights on. That's pretty good. I like that. It's weird. Of all the Dark Souls rulers, I would not have said Gwyn. Or sorry, of all the characters to like put in power, I would not have said Gwyn. But after seeing the other rulers in Dark Souls, Gwyn kind of had his shit together. Comparatively across the whole series.
What about like Lord Wencelas, whatever, the giant skeleton guy? He seemed pretty cool.
You mean Grave Lord Nito?
No, from the Catacombs in 3.
Oh yeah, Volnir. Yeah. No, there we
Wencelas.
Go. Yeah, exactly. Just the opposite of that thing I said. Let's see, David. What does Steven say?
Steven says, obviously, President Michael Wilson of Metal Wolf Chaos. Look up that cover art. Enough said.
God, I don't know how people are playing Metal Wolf Chaos. Like, you see videos of it, and I desperately want to play it, but so sad. Jala, what does Roop say?
Roop says, Senator Stephen Armstrong, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. He is a man who can really make any man do and believe anything he wants, making America great again.
He's a master persuader with control of memes, I guess. Just like Trump is. Oh, no. God, Metal Gear Rising is so bug nuts crazy. Look up...
well, that's...
Good.
That's really the point. His introduction is where it really goes off the rails, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he looks like Dick Cheney in Power Armor. It's great.
Yeah.
Ben, what does Franz say?
Franz says, Travis touchdown. He would be terrible, but definitely entertaining.
Yep. Glenn writes, Albert Wesker. I hear his attitudes on biology can get pretty infectious. I think he's a little bit missile happy, but he has a strong stance on boulders. So
he would be the nation's defense because he can single-handedly or double-handedly stop a missile from coming. So
what we need is a strong leader. We need somebody who can stand up to Putin.
This has just become like puns, though. I'm not sure how I feel like like this is the true low point of the election.
Putting puns in pundit.
Putting the pundit.
I am judging you so hard right now.
Welcome back.
I got you this gift. It's terrible. David, what does Michael say?
I'll take the easy answer. Valva Torres, the main character of Disgaea 4. In the story, the Dark Lord stages an uprising against a corrupt and complacent netherworld government. He is also a vampire who's sworn off blood for the past 400 years, due to personal reasons. A demon lord who strives for balance in government, lives in a defunct prison, and shows personal restraint. Valva Torres, 2020.
I'm way into anybody who lives in a building that used to be somebody else. I think that is a strong sign of character, especially so the defunct prison is pretty good. I'm thinking more like a lighthouse or an old church would probably be a little bit better. But beggars can't be choosers. Everything is a compromise. Jolly. I'm so sorry. I totally just conflated the two names. Jala, what does Ollie say?
That's okay. We can, with our powers combined, we are Psycho Mantis.
Oh no!
I know what you're thinking, and so does he. That was actually me rolling into Ollie's answer, or should I say Jolly's answer?
So sorry. Yep.
That would be pretty cool, though, if somebody named Jala and someone named Ollie had a child and named it Jolly. That would be fun.
Yeah. That poor kid, though, he'd just be ridiculed. Ridiculed straight into the ground.
Hopefully the name would end with some happiness.
Well, that child would be so rough and tough. Jolly would be a ridiculous name.
Be able to run away from anything. Or outrun anything.
Chase down anything. Yeah.
Yes, there we go. Outrun anything. That's a better way to put it. Ben, what does Lionel say?
Lionel says, Solidus Snake should get reelected to finish the S3 project. Maybe he could also reform schools to teach MGS2 lore. Only truth, though. No misinformation.
Yep. Man, he's going to protect America's arsenal gear. And then Gustavo says Solidus Snake as well. It's a very, I guess, yeah, Metal Gear is kind of a political series. I was going to say we're very Metal Gear heavy, but yeah, that'll happen, I guess. Mike says, Rufus Shinra has a strong energy policy, is tough on terrorism, supports space exploration, and will use any means necessary to defend our coasts from weapon. And you're forgetting the wonderful story in Advent Children where he survives fantasy cancer and delivers the killing blow to a demigod.
Oh, let's not talk about that poor thing.
Complete side note, but it always bothered me that everyone just kind of skates over the fact that Avalanche are straight up terrorists.
Oh yeah, I mean they do the same with the Rebel Alliance.
True, but the Rebel Alliance, they don't explicitly say that, like, after the first mission, the radio gives the number of civilians you murdered.
I don't know why I'm laughing at that. No, you're right. I think we talked about that in the WAF episode about it. It's kind of like, yeah, you totally drop a pizza on 1/8 of this city, the biggest city in the world where most civilization is. Yeah, it's real bad. Let's see here. David, what does Gus say?
The boss from Saints Row 4 takes no crap from the GOP or evil alien warlords, willing to cure cancer or end world hunger.
Emphasis on or. Emphasis on or.
Not both.
And the last best part is the rest of the Saints Row crew are part of the cabinet, with Keith David as vice president. Murica. And
he actually says it Mersha, as though it's like Marcia, but with a U instead of an A. But I understand what you mean, Gus. Yeah. No, I would say the boss is definitely powerful, but that whole or thing, like, okay, cancer or world hunger, both of those things would result in massive overpopulation.
Which one did you go with, by the way?
World hunger.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we had a conversation about this at one point in time on the podcast. I think most people sided with world hunger because that saved younger people who might be able to cure cancer in the future.
Oh, yeah.
It would also technically. I feel like the difference, the hard part is world hunger would save more people, but cancer is one of the main things that like is what prevents people from living forever.
Mm-hmm. So if you cure cancer without world hunger, then all of a sudden you have the population skyrockets and hunger is still a problem. Yeah. Yep. So there we go. That's just a quick review in case. Eric also says Senator Armstrong. Jala, what does Christopher say?
Christopher says, the Lady of Pain seems to generally run a tight ship in Sigil in Planescape Torment. Plus, who doesn't like the idea of mazing jerks? She'd have my vote.
I'm trying to think of some joke about, like, bureaucratic red tape. Like, it's like navigating a maze. Man, the Lady of Pain, rather, is so good. I about said the Lady of Shadows because I'm listening to the entire Dark Tower. I'm like... I'm in the middle of book 5 after the course of like 2 weeks.
By the way, how's the Dark Tower podcast going?
We're still trying to get it rolled up. I want to listen to the entire series before we start because I need to have my head on straight.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Let's see. That was a good answer. Ben, what does Evan say?
Evan says Abraham Lincoln from Civilization 4 would probably be okay at it.
But he'd always be losing to Gandhi.
Yeah, that was my joke answer, is Gandhi for president from Civ.
Let's see. I'll pick up with James, who says, Knight Artorias, listen, we're going to send those bloatheads back to the abyss. We're going to build a wall to be great, and we're going to make Manus pay for it. Make Ulasil great again. Nobody on the show will know what that means. This is probably this is Metal Gear and Dark Souls all the way. Again, with our audience, that is not surprising. Let's see, David, what does Greg say?
Greg would vote for Princess Peach as the president and Mario as the VP. Between cake baking, playing sports with people, and stomping on bad guys, they could bring everyone together on the key issue of keeping the Mushroom Kingdom safe. Yeah, I feel like it goes well until that gaffe with let them eat cake.
Yeah. A very plumbing heavy platform. Like, I appreciate infrastructure, but like, I don't know. Again, all these jokes are so hacky. This is hard, guys. And Jala finishes out with David.
David says, Smithy from Super Mario RPG. Crashing a giant sword into a monarch's castle is a great basis for strong rule. Breaks up the monopoly Star Road had on wishes and gives the common man, like a plumber, a chance to rise to the top.
Also good. Yeah, so I don't know that I have an answer for this. I saw this earlier today and I've been thinking about it, but I think I've been too busy wringing my hands nervously about the actual presidency. So does anybody have a hot take they want to serve up?
Yeah. I would say most of the Colossi from Shadow of the Colossus would be good presidents because they're very slow moving, they don't accomplish much, but they'd be very defensive in case anyone attacked. Unfortunately, like an ant-sized person could kill them, but we'll disregard that fact.
Yeah.
So
that's what the Secret Service is for.
We just need to reanimate Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I smell Ghostbusters 3.
Ooh, yeah. Lifting me higher. Yeah.
So
go ahead.
So I think I would go with Mei from Overwatch. I think she's the best candidate to May America great again. she's going to build a wall, and it's going to be made out of ice. Truly, she is the candidate to put the May back in Megua.
Yep. I don't mean to sigh like at the effort that you put into that.
I sigh all over it.
No, actually, look up the Trump/May memes are pretty entertaining.
Oh, are they? I don't want to. I've seen enough memes for this election. I don't need any more of them.
See, this is the problem, because I understand Dennis's intention for this. I'm legit exhausted by this shit.
I am too, and that's the thing. I really don't even have an answer, because I was listening to the news about it before this, and like I've been it's sad because I've been even trying to block some of it out, because I already did my early voting like a long time ago, and there's nothing else for me to do. I'm just waiting, and like I don't want to hear any more about it until it's done.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do about it right now. So I'm like, I saw the question and I'm like, oh hell.
Dennis, you fucked us.
Damn it, Dennis. And then he's not even here for me to gripe at. Damn it.
Did you guys
did that on purpose.
see the shots of Trump like checking his wife's ballot to see if she voted for him?
Yep, I saw that. That summed a lot of stuff up. Man, oh man.
No more. Let's move on.
I've got one. Renegade Shepherd from Mass Effect.
Okay.
So still ultimately principled and working for the cause of good, but willing to do what is necessary for that.
Mm-hmm. Throw a man out of a window.
That is exactly what I'm saying. Or
so you're saying defenestration.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Whoa! All of a sudden, it's 2013 again.
I know. Wow.
Thank you, everybody, for writing in. Sorry if we kind of breezed through those, but again, Rampage. I don't know.
Ooh, the characters from Rampage, actually.
Yeah, those characters. I can get behind one of those.
Yeah.
So
I'm more of the werewolf guy, although the lizard I think is going to make a good president or vice president rather. Yeah.
Lizard, all the way. I have a lizard. I'm partial.
Okay. Well, I am a wolf man, so oh shit, my secret's out. If you want to participate in these, go to facebook.com/thelevelpodcast and watch for those to go up on Tuesday afternoons. Thanks to either Dennis, in this case, setting us up for that weird thing, or Jala, who's killing it.
The grind.
Now it is time for the grind, where we talk about the games we have been playing over the past period of time or so. Let's see, David, it's been the longest since you've been here, so I'm going to lead off with you. Sure.
So I've actually got two things. I picked up Dex real cheap on a Steam sale, and it's basically 2D Deus Ex. Not overall a whole lot to be said for it, really, one way or the other. It's pretty good, but nothing really spectacular.
Is that just DEX, like Dex?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think the Video Games Hot Dogs guys either talked about it very briefly, or they almost talked about it but then didn't as their assignment. This is like a Steam thing, almost like a Metroidvania. A little bit. Yeah.
So it's like side-scrolling, and really emphasizes the whole like you can talk your way out of fights and stuff like that. The thing that bothers me, the plot line is just a little bit weird, because there's basically like a super intelligent AI that has like turned your character effectively into the one. And I don't know. There's just some really weird story beats. So, but I'm gonna have to play more into it to kind of make a decision. So, but kind of more interesting is can you hear that?
Yes, I can.
now you know what literally my everyday is. Okay. So anyways, so more relevant, I realized that my Mac can actually play Overwatch if I boot camp Windows on it.
Yeah.
So I boot camped Windows on it, and now I'm playing Overwatch.
Nice.
Yeah, it's I'm not exactly sure what to say other than it's really, really fun.
Are you playing with Dennis?
I've not gotten a chance to yet. We've both just been kind of crazy busy, but that's definitely going to be on the thing. I'm gonna have to get him to a Twitch stream that.
Yeah.
But so far, I'm actually fairly bad at it. I can play as like Soldier 76, that's like Call of Duty guy, and I can play as Diva, who is like the competitive gamer, like mecha chick. So yeah, it's really cool though. Kind of to what we were talking about earlier with the diversity of the characters. It's actually kind of neat because it seems like it's very much like they're not afraid to have, just completely unique mechanics that like only a single character uses. So like, for example, Diva basically has a mech, and when you get killed, you don't immediately die. She ejects from the mech and then can like run around and shoot things until she either gets killed or until the cooldown to summon a new mech comes. And then there's just like there's no other character in the game that like has any sort of transformation ability or anything like that. It's just like a mechanic that they just made kind of bespoke for that one character. So that's really cool. I think one of my favorites, even though I suck at playing as her, is this character Anna, who is basically a healer that heals with a sniper rifle.
She's the support sniper. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, the justification is that it's supposed to be some sort of like syringe rifle, so that's why it like can heal people. But I feel like the kind of stealth thing that's cool about it is it's a way to practice sniping without having to be able to like OMFG 180 no scope people.
Okay.
But yeah, I know it's a lot of fun. I got playing. Soon enough they had a special event for Halloween that kind of set several of the characters up in sort of this like kind of a parody of like the old like classic era black and white monster movies.
Okay.
So you're like fighting zombies and like Frankenstein's monster and stuff like that. Had like full voiceover and like new lines of like them discussing things and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's just a lot of fun.
No, I think the important question is which two of the characters do you want to fuck the most? Not for you personally, but those two characters to fuck each other.
Oh,
wow.
No, I'm just. You don't actually have to answer that. It's just. Sorry.
That'll be our next. That'll be our next multiplayer.
No, it won't. Categorically, it will not.
Save the question for when I talk about Civilization 6, but not actually talking about that.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean that. Just the easiest joke possible. Man, oh man, I wish that I had any moment to breathe to play Overwatch. Every time I look at my computer and think I could totally fire up a round of that, I think, oh, responsibility and everything else that I need to do on top of it. Not that anybody else doesn't have that. It's just, I don't know. It is a particularly difficult thing for me to wrap my head around spending time playing, even though I've really enjoyed the time that I've spent with it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, one other thing I want to shout out about it that I feel like is kind of a concrete thing that's really cool about it is it seems like it has a really, really cool community. I've noticed like pretty consistently people will like switch classes in order to play, like make sure the team has a tank or a healer. And similarly, from what I've seen, like pretty much if like no one wants to be healer and like you switch from like a DPS to the healer and then just like suck at it, like people seem to be really, really like understanding of like not having a, respecting the fact that like you were willing to like, take the role no one wanted to do and do your best.
Yeah. I mean, just a choice for team balance,
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a similar thing. At the end of each match, you can they select 4 players that like like had the most kills, the most heals, or stuff like that, and you can basically vote for one of the 4, and they get more experience. And I've had times where like our team got like totally wrecked, and all 4 of the options were on the other team. And like looking at the number of votes that were counted, like pretty much everyone on my team like voted for one of the other team members. Where like you don't have to, you can just not vote. So like it just seems like a really cool community.
Nice. And you're playing this on PC, so like you're in that pool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to get on the Slack. I was trying to get a basic level of skill before everyone on the Slack just destroys me, but I'll have to jump in with that.
I think they'll be able to help you. They'll destroy you, but it'll be in a real...
It'll be tough love.
Oh, well, that's cool. That seems like I'm happy you're having a good time with it. Yeah. Ben, since you were away last week as well, I'm going to ask you to go now too.
Let's begin. All right. So I'll start with small ones, work my way up. I got Human Resource Machine, which is a game by the people who made World of Goo.
Oh, that's really fun. I like that.
I've only played it for like 2 hours. I think I'm done with it. It's fine. It's basically teaches you how to program in assembly. And so that's cool. If you already know how to do it, it's just okay. But if you
that is in fact cool.
It can be fun. It's like a nice skin. I think it would be great if they like open sourced it and made it like a teaching tool. I think that would be perfect for that. I don't know how I feel about it as a game. The art style is definitely nice. It's very similar to like World of Goo and its sense of charm. Or repulsion / charm or whatever.
But the gross cute kind of thing.
Yeah. But so that's interesting. Well,
I had a lot of fun with that. I've never had to deal with any kind of like memory register stuff in programming. So like that actually felt like a very useful and worthwhile way to like learn different operators. And also it does the usual, like, you have stars or challenge things. So like you can get through a level and get to something new and then go back to it and perfect it. Like it is very well suited for like mobile play kind of stuff.
Yeah, and some of the challenges I wasn't even sure how to accomplish in terms of like eventually it'll branch where there's 2 different challenges, like one to use the least amount of memory and one to use the least amount of steps, so like the fastest time, I guess. But I mean, it was interesting, but I don't know. Whatever. Next one. I played some of Ori and the Blind Forest. I don't know if I talked about this or not. I played this at a friend's house like maybe a month ago on that person's Xbox, and that was cool. I picked it up on Steam. However, the PlayStation, if you're playing with like a PS4 controller on your computer, the button mappings are still Xbox. And for some reason, the button mappings are not correct between the Xbox and the PS4 controller. So like B gets mapped to X and like A gets mapped to square and things like that.
So it's like rotated 45 degrees or 90 degrees?
Yeah, which isn't a big deal until you need to move a box and no button mapping exists for that button on the PS4 controller. And so you cannot play the game anymore. So I was able to access Steam's refund measure. So I haven't played it. There are patches for it. The ones that I saw involve changing source code, which I wasn't really too interested in doing. The game seems really cool, but I'm probably going to wait and pick it up later if it goes on sale / when that is fixed. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful game.
It is.
Yeah.
And it has it has a cool kind of upgrade system a little bit, but yeah, I've only played like maybe 1 or 2 hours of that, so I'm not too deep into that, so I can't really say too much about it. Moving on. I also picked up Valiant Hearts: The Great War.
Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah.
So I picked that up. I think I put it on my wish list because I thought it was I forget, Valkyria Chronicles.
Oh, wow,
that's another war game, right? Correct?
Yeah, it's like an anime version of World War II kind of thing.
Yeah. So this is also like an animated version, but World War One. It's like a weird like puzzler game, but then they also try and teach you stuff about what went on in the war. I have very like mixed feelings about it. Like it's a very cute game. The puzzles are okay. But it's weird to have a very serious topic like warfare and then have it depicted in a very cute manner.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of cognitive dissonance playing it. It's definitely a very far cry from like listening to like hardcore history and hearing depictions of like World War One and then playing this game.
It's weird. This is one of the games that is done in the same like the Rayman illustration engine that Ubisoft does. Just like Jala. What's the name of that game? Child of Light.
Yes. Child of Light.
Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah.
So is it straight up like fairly like light and optimistic, or does it go for like pathos some too?
It's like the style is like quirky or fun or like cartoony, for lack of a better word, but the content is they try and be serious with. So You'll see like there will be scenes where you're running through and there's a bunch of dead bodies, but it's like cartooned animated dead bodies of like, you know, like not very graphic or anything.
So like Donald Duck.
I don't know if I would go that extreme, but yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. It's a very weird experience playing the game. I think
It's not just soldier stories either. Like this is very much about like the experience of living in the midst of World War One, right? So it's like a whole bunch of different characters that you're bouncing back and forth between. Is that correct?
I would say that maybe it's like different backgrounds, but they're all doing the same thing, where they're all fighting to some extent in the war, maybe.
Okay.
So the perspective you have in the game is everybody is doing something in the war effort.
Okay.
But it's definitely, it's not like shoot, what's that one game that I used to play? This War of Mine, right?
Yeah, it's not like This War of Mine where it is just a straight up like demonstration of like the psychological toll of privation.
Yeah, it's not like that. It doesn't give that sort of perspective about the war. It's all like a pretty consistent perspective of you're fighting in battle or you're in a trench or something. But they might do something where it's like you are somebody who drives soldiers to the battle, or you are somebody who cuts barbed wire for soldiers to get through, or something like that. So it's different perspectives within the battle, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
Huh. And there are like little museum pieces too, right? Like you'll walk up against a gas mask, and then it'll give you like little summaries of like, hey, this is, you know, some facts about chemical warfare.
Yeah, it's basically delivered through the pause menu almost, where you press pause and they'll have like 4 or 5 different like aspects of the war that are kind of related to the level that's going on. So like, yeah, like one will talk about, maybe gas warfare. One will talk about the use of blimps in World War I and stuff like that, which again, it's interesting, and that in its own content is like very respectfully done. It's just weird to play like a very almost like child or innocently animated thing about a very serious topic. So yeah. So it's interesting. I'll probably finish it out, but whatever. It's
yeah.
So I think the fourth one I'll talk about, which is standalone, is I've been playing the Tomb Raider game, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Yeah, it's
and you're one of the everybody on this podcast with me who has played the 2013 Tomb Raider remake, right?
I believe so. Yeah, okay. I played the original one.
Yeah.
I can't speak for everyone, but it's interesting so far. It's gotten really good reviews. So far, I don't know if I would say it's better than the original Tomb Raider, or it might be about the same. Some weird design changes that they made is it's basically game the game, where they have this achievement system in the game now where you get experience for playing the game, like where like you complete a mission or something and it'll say like plus 50 experience for like doing this leg of the mission or something like that. It's just kind of weird though, because it's not tied to like shooting a person or something like that. It's just like progressing through the game, you get this like experience award. So it's kind of weird. It's like they're trying to gamify the experience of playing a game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's very like metagamey.
You're making it sound like 50 Cent Blood on the Sand.
Whoa. I unfortunately, much to my shame, I have not played that game.
Oh.
I have a great fear that it'll ruin every other video game for me if I play it.
It's just like it's a mediocre third-person shooter.
Yeah.
Did he make other games where there was like blood in different locations?
No, he had a 50 Cent Bulletproof. Blood on the Concrete. That was his driver's ed video game. Actually, he had to do that for community service.
What a guy!
Yeah. No, he had a 50 Cent Bulletproof on the PS2. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail us there.
No, you're fine. But so far, I'd say that Tomb Raider right now, it kind of feels like a poor man's Uncharted, where it seems to be trying to hit the same sort of notes very deliberately. But the system is not as refined as like Naughty Dog's system, I would say. So like they'll try and do things like have very dynamic environments where like if you try and like climb something, it'll break halfway through and it kind of changes up your perspective. But the difference is like things very clunkily move in Tomb Raider versus Uncharted. It's not like a bad game or anything yet, but I don't know. I'm not completely on board with it yet. I guess I'm very cautious, but I mean, at the same time, it is also pretty fun / addictive. So I've played.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've played like a good probably 4 to 8 hours in it so far. So yeah.
I've heard really good things about the actual rating of tombs and that there are some number of like really cool little navigation and platforming kind of challenges.
Yeah, so far I've been kind of disappointed, but maybe I need to just go back and play the first one and see if I'm just misremembering it. But I remember I likened the tombs to kind of like portal puzzles from the first one.
Yeah.
And so far I haven't gotten that same experience with the tombs that I've done so far. Like usually it's a pretty like deliberate path that you go on to solve a tomb from what I've seen so far. Like there's not ever there's not like an aha moment sort of thing where you have like all these kind of disparate mechanics and then there's like a moment where you say, oh, if I do this, this, and this, then it'll like work out or whatever. It's usually pretty deliberately like one direction through the tombs from what I've seen so far. But
yeah.
So I don't know. I'll keep playing it and see how it goes. It still has like the Metroidvania aspect of it where you see a lot of things that you can't access yet until you get like the proper tool to do so. So that is a thing there. Another thing is they like have they give you a lot of like stats tracking on the different areas that you're in and basically all the things you need to complete in each of the areas if you want to try and like 100% it. So I don't know if that is something that I'll go through and do or not. But yeah. So it's kind of interesting. I don't think so far. The other thing that I haven't mentioned, the narrative is like not interesting at all. Like it's like the characters seem very paper thin. Like their motivations are weird. I don't know. It's like you know, I don't know. It's like Lara Croft will have like a friend or something who's like her best friend and he'll do anything for her. But like there's never any depth to the characters. You know, like they all are very surface level of like what their motivations are, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah. So there's not like a whole lot there. So I kind of glaze out when cutscenes happen like that. So.
Oh, these dolls are going to bang against each other for a little bit, and then we're done.
Yeah, pretty much. But
that's kind of too bad, because I actually liked some of the character beats and story from the previous one.
See, I had like kind of a similar opinion with the first one, where I mean I liked like some of the intrigue of like the cult aspect of the storyline, but I thought all the friends like in the storyline were like I just wasn't as much of a fan of that. Like for some reason it seemed very like cartoony. Like I can only remember the one set piece where they're all in like a cage and there's like lava on the ground or something, and I don't know, just for me, like I just didn't take any of the characters seriously in the Tomb Raider games like I would in maybe like an Uncharted game for some reason.
Yeah, I guess to be fair, mainly I liked her development. I thought it was fairly interesting.
When she went from being a person who was stabbed by rebar to a person who got that rebar out of her.
Yes. And then stabbed many, many people with rebar.
Yeah, and then used that rebar to murder animals. Yeah. I mean, I didn't have the same interpretation that a lot of people did of the first Tomb Raider, where like there was this really stark contrast between her like learning to kill and then her being like a killer or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think part of that is because like the way the video game set up is like you have these like droves of people that come after you, and you really don't take it seriously of you just murdering dozens of people. Same way in Uncharted, that like if you do take that seriously, there's like major major discrepancies between that action and then this action of like your hero trying to have like a relationship with their person and not be a psychopath like they are the rest of the game. So I don't know. So I can ignore that stuff, and I think that's okay. But like the fact that like none of the characters like have any bonds with one another, there's no like deeper connection outside of it's just like, yes, these people are best friends. They've always been best friends. Don't question it, sort of thing. You know? Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. I'll probably keep playing it. I mean, it's not an unfun game, if that makes sense. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean, sorry, you're kind of lukewarm on it.
Yeah, it's all right. The last game that I have that I am not lukewarm on is Jackbox 3, which I played.
Oh shit! Yeah. It's gonna segue into me.
Yeah. Yep.
So did you just play that on the stream, or were you you running your own shit?
No, I only played with you.
Okay.
So I did not have a copy for myself.
Yeah. So I knew about Jackbox 3. It's weird how these kind of come out to very little fanfare, because people were saying, "Hey, Kole, there is a kind of murder mystery or a horror themed trivia game inside of this." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds like it's going to totally be my shit." Yeah, it's totally my shit.
I had fun watching the stream right about the time that everybody was wigging out about that, and then I passed out. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
But I was there for a little bit anyway, like before I had to go, because I do lots of things and I get tired. So
Yeah.
But that was quite a lot of fun to watch everybody flipping.
Yeah.
What makes it horror themed? Is it just like asking you questions about like the mummy and stuff?
No. So I'll let you describe it, Ben.
The premise is, think of like it's a Jigsaw /7 sort of situation where you're kind of being a psycho killer has control over you, and he's forcing you to answer questions, trivia questions. And if you get something wrong, you might go to a second feature, or he just might murder you, like straight up.
Yeah.
So the horror is just like a means to that you can eliminate people in this trivia game, I think. But it's done with very good style, and it leads to a lot of awesome games that are like actually deep, thought-provoking games.
Yeah. I just love it. So it's questioned, and then if people get it wrong, which they will, mini game, and those mini games are often like here's one that I feel bad spoiling this, but it will indicate exactly what level this is working on. It'll say, okay, well, here's a game. Choose which one of your fingers you want to chop off. And it gives you an option between, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, etc. Like, your four fingers.
Not your thumb.
Right, yeah. Thumb isn't a finger.
Thumb is not an option.
Yeah. And so, like, you think, okay, well, this is strange, so I'll just arbitrarily pick one. And then for the next several questions, you cannot choose an answer if it is in the number that corresponds to this. So if you chop off your pinky, you cannot pick answer number 4, even if that's the correct one.
Yes. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
Until your pinky grows back.
Right, because everybody's a lizard. He injected you with lizard DNA.
It's like Swamp Thing.
Yeah. But there's other ones like in the middle there. And so what I think is like previously, like You Don't Know Jack was not really an option for stream play because that is a time-based game where you get more points if you answer quickly. So the person who is hosting the stream would obviously just dunk on everybody. Whereas this, it's kind of like, okay, everybody can answer at their leisure, including people in the audience. And then it's really just, thumbs up, thumbs down, and the elimination and points happen as you are able to kind of like either move on and get the money for answering that question properly. There's money involved. Or, like fight your way to survival as it goes along.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah. And then there's a lightning round at the end where, the last person who's alive starts running for daylight. And it's like a little board. There are like a certain number of spaces that you have to advance by... I'm going to simplify this by answering the question correctly. It gives you a bunch of different options. Then you get points for whether or not you select the ones that apply or don't apply. It's just, a rapid fire trivia kind of thing. You'd have to see it to understand. But then all of a sudden, after the first question, everybody else is in play. And if their ghost overtakes the living person, they get their body back and they can still get out alive. And they can still technically be the winner.
Yeah. And to make the anticipation higher, so like the person who's last alive maybe starts out like in the middle of the board, and most of the ghosts start off to the left of the board, but they can answer more things than the person who's alive can. They can answer 3 yes or no questions, whereas the alive person can only answer 2. Yeah. So they can more easily catch up to the alive person, which makes for a great amount of tension towards the end of the game.
They engineered this for photo finishes.
Yeah.
It's so good, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And there's other really good stuff in this in this as well. Like, I did not expect TKO to work as well as it did. Were you around for TKO, Ben?
I don't. Oh, the shirt game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ordered the God is Dead shirt, so I will be getting that.
Shirt.
A bunch of people did, yeah.
I'm very excited to wear that.
The way TKO works is it has you draw a whole bunch of pictures, just whatever you have in your head, and then and then it has you come up with as many slogans as you can, and then everybody is assigned a random crop of both images and slogans, and you have to match them up. It's kind of at random, like whichever one of these is going to be most, the funniest or the most appropriate, et cetera, and then they battle them out. So like the bulk of the game is voting between the two of them, and there's a lot of like really kind of incidental, like just accidental poetry that comes out of it. Better than it has any right to be. And like just the unfolding like revelation on people in the chat, people who are participating, like, oh, this seems kind of dumb. Like the drawing games, like I like them, but people just kind of quail at them because drawing is hard. But this ended up kind of taking that expectation and completely turning it. Super good.
and the cool thing, so whatever shirts like win, you can actually purchase like physical copies of those shirts as well.
Yep.
And so somebody made a God is Dead t-shirt with Pikachu on it and Japanese writing. So clearly everyone got that.
Yeah. It was such an unlikely winner. Just here is an MS Paint and mouse drawn Pikachu.
2 colors.
Yeah. No, that was a lot of fun. I really want to do that again. Like Jackbox, like last week we had a question or something like, hey, which game that you didn't think you would like has ended up being something that's totally your shit. This, I totally forgot to answer Jackbox because as much as I like trivia games and you don't know Jack, I didn't expect this kind of inventiveness, even out of Jackbox 1 and 2, let alone Jackbox 3 that shows like, oh, they just have a ton of really good ideas and they know how to execute on them. Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
I want to do that again. Like that'll definitely be a fixture at Duckstream.
Yeah, let me know when you do. That was a lot of fun.
Yay!
Yeah. Let's see here. Is that all you had, Ben?
Rocket League.
Okay, of course. There's always Rocket League. Since I've already done mine, and we talked about Duckstream, I've been preparing for Duckstream because I'm doing a Resident Evil stream, doing the series in chronological order from the beginning, of the story. So starting with Resident Evil 0, which, guys, is not very fun. And so that is the Resident Evil game that I've probably played the least out of the main line of the series. So I'm not going to flail around for 12 hours on this thing. I want to get to the fireworks factory as quickly as possible. So I decided I'm just going to play Resident Evil 0 ahead of time so I know what to do. You're going to see, and I'm going to kind of make my case against Resident Evil 0 while I play it. But fuck that inventory system, fuck splitting apart your characters, and, the story, whatever. It's weird, it's super goofy, whatever. But, just the mechanics of that are kind of entirely wrapped up and just only drive toward tedium, and it is a very upsetting turn of events.
When was that game made?
It was developed alongside the remake, actually. It was initially kind of prototyped for the N64, and then when the GameCube released, they're like, okay, well, let's do both of these together. So, remake came out in 2002, and then Resident Evil 0 came out 6 months later in 2003.
So when you say chronological order, you mean within the game, the chronological order, not within our world?
Yes.
All right,
cool. 0 takes place roughly 12 hours before the first one does.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's all. You can watch that this coming, today, really. Duckstream starts at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. If you're listening to this on Friday, November the 11th, and goes through, my shift starts on Saturday, November the 12th at 10 p.m. And then that goes into the next day, raising money for the Transactive charity, Duckfeed.tv/Duckstream. Yeah. Let me think here. Jala, I'm going to throw to you as well, because that's all that I've got.
That's all that's left, scraping the bottom of the cistern.
Amongst Dennis's remains.
Right. Okay, so I have only played a couple of things. First off, in my co-op corner, I was flagged down by listener Jason, who was like, hey, okay, we have not played any more Magicka. We need to get back to that. So we did. We got back to Magicka, and we played, and now we're, I think, on chapter 5 out of 12. So we're not even halfway done with this yet. And by the time we finally fought through, because it had been so long since we played the last time that when we jumped in, we were like, whoa, what the shit's going on? Because stuff's blowing up everywhere, and I don't remember how to make magic and what's happening. So it was an interesting learning curve. And then, we basically made it to where I was kamikaze, and I would just go in there and just be like, okay, I'm gonna just blow everybody up. You just keep rezzing me, and I will just distract everybody, and I'll just blow everyone up. And that's how that worked. But we managed to get through the journey to Dunderhead, and then to fight off the invasion of the orcs and other people who came and did whatever. So. Yeah, I don't know what comes next. I've never played past this part. I've never had anyone play with me past this part. So, Jason, I know you're listening. We've got to keep playing this game until we finish this damn game. I want to finish it. Also, once we are done with that, and only once we are done with Magicka, this is my new rule. I'm not going to, unless I totally flip a table and get mad at it. We will keep playing it, and then after that, we want to go to play Gauntlet, because he wants to play Gauntlet. Oh, yeah. He has Gauntlet, and he's never gotten to play it because he's only been by himself, and you have to have 4 people. So we're gonna try to get that together at some point. But we have to have 4 people who are dedicated enough to show up at, a time to play it regularly to finish it, because there's a lot of levels. But that's in the future. We'll talk about that later. So that's the first thing I've been doing. I've got to the same place I've always ever gotten to in Magicka, and I've not seen it yet, but I'm hoping for exciting things.
Are you going to play either the expansions, the Magicka Vietnam, or the Magicka Stars Right?
We will see what happens when we get that far, because it depends on how the rest of this game goes, like, and whenever that happens and so on. So we'll see. So, cool. So that's one thing. And the other thing I've been doing is I've been continuing on with Child of Light, because I still hadn't gotten back with you, Kole, about like how the hell to skip stuff in Steins Gate. So anyway, that being the case, I've been continuing on with Child of Light because that's what I was playing. And I am now in Chapter 8. So I've got a couple more chapters ahead. And there's been some story stuff happening. Oh, my God. I mean, not that it's a story rich or anything, but, again, it's pretty cool. The level design and stuff is continuing to be neato. And they have some really memorable characters, including NPCs that just kind of show up that are pretty neato. I don't think it's a big deal to say that there is a big giant character that is actually like a mountain, and you come across it as part of the level before you actually realize, oh, you can talk to him and he will like, escort you somewhere. So that's cool. And so anyway, yeah, like I also got another character that I did not anticipate having like any more characters this late in the game, but I picked up another one, so that's cool. And so it's fun.
What's the gameplay like for that game? Because I've seen it, but I don't really know anything about it.
It is, yeah. You weren't here when I was talking about it last time. Basically, it is kind of like an exploration sort of game. Like I don't want to call it like a platformer, because like very, very quickly in the game you start to be able to fly, so it's not really platforming at all. Okay. So just exploration part. Where you can dodge around monsters or, deliberately run into them to have fights. And then it goes into, it has like an active combat system, but once it's somebody's turn, it just like freezes time so you can make your decisions. So it's still turn-based. It's just that you have a active, activity meter at the bottom. And you can only have 2 of your party out at a time on the battle screen. And yes, I have finally had to heal people and things like that. Nobody's ever died, but I actually have had to heal people finally. So the fights have ramped up a little bit. But anyway, you can toggle through your characters, Ben. If you come up for a turn, like say you are playing Aurora, who is the main character, and you want to toggle her out because she's got low hit points and you want to put somebody fresh in, you can switch, and then that character that you put in her place will then have a turn. So, they go as if they already have an action. So it doesn't penalize you for tapping out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So... And a lot of the skills tend to be like, and then also some of the buffs you can put on your weapons and things revolve around like what type of damage you do to enemies, because, there's different elemental weaknesses and things. And then also knocking people back, like having a chance to knock people back on the timeline, or starting forward on the timeline, or increasing your casting speed for your spells and things like that. So a lot of it is centered around that kind of play is the timeline type stuff. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, like it's a light and fun game. It continues to be same as it has been so far, and I'm still not bored of it. So I'm going to finish it. There's only 10 chapters. I've only got 2 more to go. So by the next time, I pop on the show, whenever that may be, I will have finished that game, I'm pretty sure.
And you're playing this on your Vita too.
Yeah, and I would definitely say that it is very Vita friendly. I don't know if I'd really want to sit on my computer to play this game, because it's still like an RPG type thing,
and
also
turn-based combat.
Yeah, it's got the turn-based combat, and then you've also got this little Firefly guide that you can use during battles and during the exploration parts, that you can use by just tapping on the screen or using one of the sticks, but I usually use my finger to swipe around. You can use either panel, the front or the back panel, I want to say, to move him around. So yeah, but it's very much like something that I like to have portable. I would not sit and play the entire thing on my computer, I don't think.
Yeah.
So not because the game's bad, it's just I don't like to sit at my computer that long.
No, I mean it makes perfect sense,
Yeah.
That art style seems like it would stand up very well to being kind of close to it. Like the Vita screen is gorgeous anyway, but like that kind of really crisp 2D thing 2D style rather, seems to be especially suited to the PS Vita.
Yeah. So it's been fun. It's definitely got a very fairy tale air to it. It's very, whimsical and, just classic fairy tale type story that, it's nothing new in a lot of ways, although like its presentation and stuff is charming enough that it's still very fun to go through. So, Yep,
nice.
That's it.
Cool. Well, any other questions, comments, concerns about Child of Light?
We are concerned about this child.
Intervention.
It is a problem child of light. Somebody called Gilbert Gottfried. And John Ritter, I think, is also in the Problem Child movies.
I don't remember.
That's going to kill me. I'll find it out by the time the outro ends. Do you want to button it up?
Buttons!
Oh, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and listening to this episode of The Level. Sorry it was shorter than usual, although I don't know that it's going to end up being too much shorter. I hope people understand. Hopefully our national nightmare is over, but we'll see. You're in the future. You know how this shook out.
Hopefully it isn't just beginning.
Oh, God. Yes, John Ritter was in Problem Child. Woo!
Woo! Good job.
Now all rest easy.
Along with Michael Richards. That's weird. I don't remember Kramer showing up, but as I mentioned, kind of during the grind section, we have Duckstream happening like the day this comes out, or in a couple days if you're listening to this on early release, November the 11th through 13th, streaming for 48 straight hours to benefit Transactive, which is a cool charity out of Portland. Tune in, even if you can't give. Support in chat goes a very, very long way, as do rebroadcasts and things like that. I am looking forward to seeing most of you there. It's going to be a party. I'm going to fire off confetti cannons inside my house.
Oh my God.
What time are you playing again?
Such sacrifices, Kole.
Yep. 10 p.m. on Saturday to 10 p.m. on Sunday. For every $250 milestone that we reach while I'm on camera, gonna fire off a confetti cannon. I have 12 small confetti cannons, and showing up tomorrow is a 2-foot-long one that is primarily used for outdoor weddings.
Oh my God!
That's the stretch goal.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
Because I want to raise money.
Oh man,
I'm doing it for the children. Okay. No, so
God.
We're gonna do that one if we hit the $5,000 goal. But
awesome.
I really wish that I was not running a race that same damn day and like busy for a large portion of it and then exhausted. I will try to show up and watch as much as I can around the times that I will be running and
watch it from bed as you're icing your legs down. I think that's a thing runners do. Yeah. But that'll be cool. Otherwise, the usual stuff. Ratings or reviews on iTunes, et cetera. Sorry, I'm being distracted. There are alerts in the politics channel on Slack talking about alerts. I have it open. It's on the screen. I'm sorry. We have this joke about if Trump wins, we're gonna switch the entire network over to Minecraft coverage. Just all podcasts about Minecraft. So if that happens, that might end up being a thing for a week. So we'll talk about it if it gets there.
That would be a great excuse for me to finally break down and buy Minecraft.
so
actually, it would be a horrible excuse, but yeah.
At that point, you're clinging to whatever flaming trash can for warmth. The usual stuff. We need to go because I need to go, I guess, vomit into the toilet in terror as I wait for the world to set right again. So until next time, I've been Kole Ross at Kole Ross on Twitter.
I'm Jala John in places.
I'm David Moneysmith at Moneysmith777 on the Twitter.
I'm Ben Last at Last.fm.
That's a thing, right?
Yeah. That's where I am.
And stick around for some titles.
Hey, Cole, did you see the thing I dropped to the backstage?
Let me look here. The deep learning ahem detector. What?
It detects when people say things like and ahem in podcasts.
Oh no.
Oh my.
Oh, that's too much. Huh. So who has titles?
I have titles.
Okay, Jala, go for it.
Okay, following the snake on 538.
Okay.
Haunted strip club.
I had that one as well.
Okay.
Putting the pun in pundit.
Okay, I have that one too.
Okay. Gandhi for president.
Okay.
Game the game.
Okay.
Blood in different locations.
Oh no.
And Ben last.
Okay. Ben, what you got?
All right, I got sweat equity.
Okay.
And I shortened that to sweat kitty.
I think that was in the green room. That was before recording.
All right, shucks.
Sorry.
And then I got I also have Haunted Strip Club. I have Look at Me, I'm Dennis. So at some point in time. I got Dick Cheney in Power Armor. And I got Terror Vomiting.
I'm just going to do Terror Vomit as opposed to Terror Vomiting. David, you got anything?
No, I do not.
Okay. I also had We Put the Pun in Pundit, and then I have I Sigh All Over It. I think it has to be Haunted Strip Club.
We were giggling about that quite a bit.
There we go.
That
cool.
It is.
All right. Well, I'm going to go drink and watch NBC News. So,
yep.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of disturbed that it's looking like Trump is going to win Ohio.
At the moment, Ohio is leaning slightly red. With 46% reporting. Not slightly red.
9 points.
Yeah, about 9 points with 46% reporting. Fuck. I had outdated numbers.
Hey.
We'll see. I am going to go get a cookie and then also consume a lot of alcohol to deal with the election.
Yeah.
Hands held, hugs all around, back rubs, all that. We just, goddamn, we just have to be kind. We have to get through this.
A back rub sounds nice.
It really does. I'm completely tense.